Hey there, Ebc Bible Church. So good to see you again. And this is Ebc Weekly with your host,
Carl Storman,
also known as
Six Gun Storman.
Yes,
and
back in the day.
Back in the day. Those of you who know Pastor Carl, that was his nickname. You know, what would they have called me if I was there?
Yeah, maybe like Jumpin' Jamie or Jackrabbit Jamie, or it has to start with either the first letter of your first name or your last name. So it depends on what you want to go by.
Okay,
That's the rule.
I get
That's the rule at the ranch.
I figured I probably would have been like one of the rodeo clowns or something. Well, this is Six Gun Storm. So glad to have him with us here at Ebc Bible Church. Give us a little update on what's been happening with Kids Zone.
So, we ran our first 2 soft openings for Kids Zone just to make sure that we had everything in place and we're going to have all the teachers and leaders that we needed. And so that was the first 2 weeks. But this coming Sunday, we're going to run it for both services. So we're excited to be able to offer that. So if you're a family that it only works out in your schedule to come maybe to the first service, now we actually have it for that service as well. And so just a reminder, make sure you're checking before you come and make sure everyone isn't showing symptoms and everyone that seems to be healthy. We'd appreciate that in the process.
We've been implementing some new technology.
That's right.
And so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for probably, before I got here, there was a check-in service that everyone was using. So that isn't new in and of itself as far as a check-in service. But what we're doing and what we're using now is a little bit different. And so we switched our check-in to another program that we use for other areas with Planning Center. But we have the Planning Center check-ins. And what this does is it allows you to, if you want, to do a true contactless check-in. And so if you go and you get the Church Center app, you want to go to either the App Store or Google Play Store, look for Church Center, and set up Ebc Bible Church as your church. It should load all of your information in if you've been coming, either a member or an attender. As long as you've been coming, it should have all your family stuff there. And then right from home, you can start the check-in process, get everyone all set, and then when you get to church, all you got to do is show your phone, get the code scanned, and boom, there's your labels. It's super fast.
So this past Sunday, again, in the book of Colossians, and Pastor Rick, again, great message, and he gave an illustration that I just not sure if I could relay it or translate it
the same way.
The same way.
Yeah.
He just has a unique way of giving these. So here, watch this.
Some of you are walking around in your spiritual underwear, and life is not a Zoom meeting. Get dressed. What do I mean by that? Number 1, put on forgiveness. Are you compassionate? Kind? Humble? Gentle? Patient? Do you bear up? Number 2, you got to put on love. Anything done to another or towards God without biblical love is worthless. Number 3, put on peace. Let the peace of God rule in your thinking and life. Make decisions based on your peace with God so you can have the peace of God, and stop making decisions filled with anxious anxiety and stress. Number 4, put on grace. Grace is blessing someone without cause. You see, in light of everything that God's grace has done for you and the love of Christ in you, is it not just your reasonable response?
Making sure that I'm getting fully dressed spiritually every morning. And that's putting on forgiveness, love, peace, grace, all of those things that are necessary to enhance my spiritual life, my relationship with the Lord, and of course with people around me.
Well, one of the things I loved was the statement that he made, and I think it was in regards to love, but the ability to see a need and the desire to fulfill it. Yeah. And it wasn't the ability to see a need and the ability to fulfill it. It's just having that desire. And sometimes we kind of don't do something because we feel like we don't know what to say or we don't have the ability to do it. But just have the desire, and then pray for the ability or trust that God's going to give you the right words or whatever to do. So the ability to see a need and the desire to fulfill it.
But this morning, how many of you would say, Lord, I need to put on forgiveness. I've not been as compassionate, kind, tender. I've not been forgiving others the way I should. So how many this morning would say, that's me, I need to put on forgiveness? Would you raise your hand? Just raise your hand. right, thank you. And how many of you this morning would say, I need to put on love? That's my problem is love. Raise your hand. I need to put on love. I need to put on love. Amen. How many this morning would say, I need to put on peace? That's my issue, peace. Raise your hand. Put on peace. Amen. Finally, how many would say this morning, I need to work on grace? I need to put on grace this week. Raise your hand. Raise your hand.